Hi again, Cathy McLeish, and we're here to talk about alcoholism, learn a few new things about the alcoholic, the way they think, and what recovery might look like if they decide to go there. So, I'm going to talk a little today about when we're drinking. As an alcoholic, we think there's no fun after drinking. And so we really kind of imagine this life that is going to be so full of boredom. And we're going to address a couple things that are wrong with that, because one of the things is we have this total misconception of what our life really looks like when we're in our last months or years of drinking, because we want to tell ourselves we're still having fun when actually, say we buy a concert ticket for $100. Do we even make it to the concert? If we make it to the concert, could we even tell you who opened for that band? Did we get to stay the whole time through, or were we asked to leave because of our drinking or our behavior? Do we even remember bits and pieces of the songs the next day? Or is it just all one big blackout and we want to tell ourselves that we had a great time? In our last months of drinking, there is very little fun. The things we committed to before, we no longer do. The things we're doing, we're probably doing in spite of the people that probably don't want us there anymore. And we're just showing up for some reason to satisfy our own ego. So there are things going on that we really can't see the truth about. And we're telling ourselves we are still having fun, when actually our life has probably shrunk down to a little bit of nothing. We have missed a lot of the important occasions in our families' lives, in our friends' lives. We can't remember the ones that we actually showed up to, and we're hoping and praying that we didn't hurt or ruin the occasions that we did in a blackout. So how much fun are we really having? And sometimes I think if you wanted to define boredom, it would be the life of the practicing alcoholic towards the end. It is basically a life of nothingness. It is a life of looking for the next drink, getting the next drink, wanting to be alone during that drink, and having, pretty much checked out from everything that is of any value in the life that is going on around me. So I come into recovery and I think, okay, so I'm not drinking and I have all this time on my hands, but I no longer have hobbies. I don't have friends. I don't have dreams and hopes. Those have long gone out the window. It was a lot of hot air when I was talking there towards the end about the things I was gonna do, I'm gonna do, you'll see. And now I have these opportunities to do these things. And for the most part, I'm probably scared to death. And so life is new. And if life is boring, then there's a guy, there's a guy that I've been in recovery with for decades. And he always says, if you're not having any fun in recovery, it's your own damn fault. Because life is going on. Life is happening. And we finally have the opportunity and the chance to be a part of it. We have the energy. We have the wherewithal. We might even have the health left, and we might even have a little cash in our pocket because of the things we are no longer doing. So we can hope and we can dream. And when I think about just the past 5 years, what I was able to do because I'm in recovery, because I live a life of responsibility and relationships that have been repaired, that are in good standing, that are enjoyable. I was able to show up for my parents in their last years. I was able to be the woman that I wanted to be as a daughter. And I was able to show up for my own daughters when they were having children. I was able to throw parties for people I loved, whether it was a bridal shower, a baby shower, a birthday party for my coach and mentor. So I was able to do a lot of things that I would never have been able to pull off in my drinking years. I'm in California now and have had a half a dozen trips to California this year for fun and work. I have been to Hawaii in the past several years, went to Rome in the last 5 years to visit my daughter who was studying overseas. And the thing is, she was able to do that because we were responsible. She had so much going for herself, but we were also available parents that were able to guide and steer her so that she could, realize her gifts and be the person that she was meant to be. None of these things are things that I was really capable of doing when I was drinking, because drinking kind of checks me out from life. And I'm not just not participating, I'm not enjoying and anticipating. And I'm not dreaming, I'm not making goals, I'm not working towards goals. We sailed the Caribbean in the last 6 months. Well, maybe it's been a year now. But I had never done anything like that. I can't even tell you that I would have liked to get on a sailboat and sail like that. But it was the most amazing experience. And just the ability to say, I think I'd be willing to try that. I think I'd be willing to go there. And I can say things that, actually cost money, and that is a byproduct of living the right life. You make one good choice after another with finances, with decision making, with the responsibilities of today, and you prosper. That is the way that life works. And you are able to do some of the things you weren't able to do before. And you're able to help people along the way to do some of the things that they want to do and aspire to do. And so, yes, there are those, things that are a byproduct of being financially responsible in a way that we hadn't been for years and years and years. But there's also ways that I have benefited according to my character. Like I mentioned, being there for my parents through rocky relationships over the years, and definitely with my drinking, to be able to repair that and have the amends of being accountable and available during the time of their life when they needed me. And my husband as well, to operate as a couple, as a unit, and be there. How good does that make you feel? And to have a partner that actually wants that for you, wants to help you show up, wants to be a part of that showing up experience so that you can do and be the things that you aspire to do as a recovering, healthy, happy person. So we think that life in sobriety is going to be boring. One of the biggest benefits that I have in my life is helping other people. And if you would have told me that was going to be one of my benefits of sobriety when I came in, again, I would have been like, I don't think so. Don't sign me up for any of that stuff, because I was a selfish, self-centered person. I also was a weak person that had low self-esteem, and I had no confidence that I could show up to do and be anything for anybody. I couldn't do it for myself. So why would I think that I could show up for you? But then in my sober life, I show up for myself. I, with the help of other people, get my life in order, and then I can take what I have and piece it out to other women so that they can have a better life. And it is such a paradox. You think that that is not something that you care about or that you would want, but there is no better feeling than feeling like you did something. You were able to give something of value to another person so that it would enhance their life. It is why I want to do these videos, so that we can spread some knowledge, some understanding of alcoholism, so people out there that are struggling, that don't have the answer, that don't understand the problem, can have a chance at a life that is better than they ever imagined. So if you think that living life sober is going to be boring, it is so far from the truth. You can piecemeal it however you want. You can enter into new and different things as slowly or as quickly as you want. Oftentimes I see people do it too quickly, and then they end up overwhelmed and they aren't taking care of themselves. So I always really suggest that people take things slowly and get their bearings, especially in their family lives, with the people that have stuck with them and are rooting for them and have been through so much of the pain and the disappointment. Help those people to have some of their dreams come true first, and then move forward with the ideas that you've had since the time that you picked up a drink and started to fail over and over and over again. One of the things that I did is I went back to college, and I had a year to finish when I drank myself out of college at the age of 20. And I went back and I finished that degree. And I walked down the aisle and I got that degree in my early 50s. And it was one of the most amazing, triumphant victories that I've had in my life. To just say that I fixed something that I failed at previously. And I had tried to fix it several times, but I was drinking, so it didn't work. But in sobriety, I got it. I mean, I nailed it. Life is good and it has so much to offer. And if you don't hear anything else, just hear that we are not the best judge of what fun is and what boredom is and what can be in front of us if we take a month, 6 months, maybe even a year away from a drink just to see how life could be. So thank you for listening, Cathy McLeish. Please subscribe and follow and be a part of the solution, sharing some information and understanding about the disease of alcoholism and what it just might be like to come out on the other side. Thanks.